Connection with Shade Network activated. Audio file download commencing. Files marked extremely sensitive. Strategic Homeland Division only. Agent commencing transmission.
What's up, agents? You listen to episode 159 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. This week we're talking about Title Update 3, and the raid is dropping this week. But first, my name is Mike. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Robert.
Hello.
And unfortunately, Luke could not be with us on what is going to be a very interesting episode, but instead we have a very special guest in the form of John Leguizamo.
Hello. Oh wait, hold on. Let me sound like Luke. Hello.
I thought you were going to say hello. Luke, have you took down? Actually, I don't really want to post Game of Thrones spoilers. How's the wall?
How's the wall? The wall's good.
It's good.
Yeah, that was a good episode, Luke.
Shh, it's not Luke. It's Boris.
He's pretending to be Luke.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't get that.
I think I'm in season 3. I don't know what season he'd be in by now. With
is that why he's not here? It's because he's watching Game of Thrones.
He's probably watching Game of Thrones.
He better be watching Game of Thrones tonight. Not this week, but just in general, continuing the series.
Anyway, back on track. We hope you guys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. We do have some news to talk about today, but obviously Title Update 3 is out as of Tuesday this week, and I want to ask you guys very quickly, how's everyone finding the updates so far? I'm going to go to Rob first.
Yeah, I logged in. My build wasn't any different.
So you were pretty happy with that, if I remember right.
But one of my builds wasn't any different.
What about the rest? You were like,
the rest
what
of the 5 need some work.
See, I had to change one thing on my vector build, and then you were like, well, rip vector builds anyway.
Yeah.
So, but everything else seems to be okay. What about you, Boris?
Yeah, 2 of my builds. I had basically 2 variants of the 377s. I had a 397 and a 597, which really just alternated 2 pieces. Those stayed the same. If anything, it appears like they got buffed because, the whole changes to the armor values. But in reality, they kind of still stayed the same because Unstoppable Force bonus got changed. So although I do need better pieces because I can't re-roll some of the attributes. I'm stuck with what I had, and I did hoard some Alps vests that have extremely high armor and extremely high health, but I still need a better starting piece because the pieces that I already have, I rolled something else, so I can't put the health or the armor onto it. So the Vector build, of course, my SMG build is the way it was. It's gone. I tried doing built around Clutch and Berserk, and I had it good. It was like a 12-4-0, but that was it, though. It was Berserk and Clutch. You know what I mean? And I was sitting at like 50. I was sitting at 60%. I was at the crit cap. But you're basing it around 2 specific talents, and that's it. So you'd have to, they're kind of easy counters, considering Clutch got changed in a way where it's now more health. You get more health back than you do armor.
Yeah, that sucks because now I had a low armor value.
Right.
And obviously the change from, 5% to 1% for Clutch?
Yes, but then the health value went up from 1% to 3%, I think.
So I no longer see my armor budge.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't move. It
sucks.
And then Rob mentioned, why not go 747? I was like, well, I don't have the pieces. And then I look through, I do have pieces, but then I sacrifice like 2 particular talents, which I was using because of the Defender drone. I was using Cloaked on my knee pads. So then as I lost my armor, I'd blow off the drone and the shield because that was the meta.
Yeah.
But I haven't been into PvP since yesterday because of the title update to see how quickly the defender drone does die off. Which then
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even test it in the PTS either because PvP, trying to find PvP in the PTS, this was really hard because very few were even doing PvP. So
did you have any issues matchmaking in the PTS? Because I could not match with anyone.
Yes. For main missions, testing out the hardest content, like even an invaded heroic mission, I got like one person and we just kept getting wrecked, which was, it was a catch 2020. There's really nobody to play with, but at the same time, it showed me that they are improving the difficulty correctly for that difficulty. Because heroic before yesterday's patch was pretty easy. It was kind of sad. I could do title based and heroic solo before yesterday's patch. So, but then in the PTS, I tried the exact same builds and I couldn't get past the first area on title base. And that was like my benchmark. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Moving just kind of off that, like me and Rob were playing yesterday and something Rob said was like the solo experience. Now they've made all these changes for title update 3 with regards to playing solo and just doing any content. You can definitely feel the difference, if you see what I mean.
Yep.
Like
yes.
The difficulty is completely changed up because the minute I went and did, I don't know, I was doing some stuff on my own. I think I was doing like challenging missions and then went and grouped up with Luke. The difficulty was like, whoa, it's, you can definitely tell like the sponginess is kind of there.
Yes.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, if you want to put it, anybody listening, if you want to put it into perspective on a 397, 377 build, right, with compensated on the ropes, using a nemesis and all that jazz, maybe like 6 more bullets to take down the exact same elite elite NPC as it did before the patch. Let's just use that as a perspective because I used to be able to do like 2 elites out of 136 round magazine from an AR or 38, whatever it is. Now I can't do 2.
No.
In a group. Let me rephrase that. In a group. Solo.
And that's including the buff that AR's had as well.
Right.
It's as if they've changed the scaling, isn't it? Like, because solo seems easier than it was before.
Yes. Yeah.
But
and that's
what people wanted.
Harder.
And that was, I mean, that's, I expressed my opinion on this well before they even came out with the that post they did on the forum about the changes that they want us to test and that the changes that they're going, right? I expressed my opinion on it, on the whole control point thing and all that other stuff. And I was like, I mean, now it's like, okay, cool, it's done and over with. But at the same time, I felt it was just right, man. I really felt it was just right. But I'm not saying like I did heroic control point level 4s the moment I was in World Tier 4 or World Tier 5. No. That's not what I was trying to get at. Once I had a build, they were easy. They were really easy before they made the changes, even in the PTS. And then I tested it in the PTS. It was easier as a solo player.
But then when we played Tidal Basin, me and Luke played it. It was just me and Luke, and we were expecting it to be even more difficult than what we actually got. And if you're saying now, it should in theory be ramped up from that.
I feel like they scaled it. I mean, after the fact, after PTS, their small window of internal changes and testing, it seems to be that they kind of did it more towards the group dynamic. So the more people you have in your group, the scaling seems to be better, right? So depending on your team dynamic, which is going to lead into the raid in a very important way because you're looking at 8 people now versus just 4.
Yeah, and that's a very big take from it now is obviously if you're running in a group, that really plays into effect. Now you can't all be running the same build, which is then they're kind of going, hey, we've got the raid coming up and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, Rob, I know you noticed last week, it felt like there were some health changes on the NPCs. It felt like the NPCs, was it health changes or damage changes after the update? After the maintenance, last week.
Oh yeah, we tried doing some content. I don't know exactly what it was, but we were
trying to do something on Heroic, weren't we?
Well, we were struggling like mad.
Yeah.
And it was just after a maintenance, and it felt like they'd done like a stealth, like difficulty up sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like they'd changed it, made it harder. Or maybe
you mean like they used to do in Division 1 every other week?
Like they used to. You know when you used to log in on Division 1 and like after a maintenance, and it would just be like stupidly hard, or like the NPCs were just incredibly accurate.
Oh yeah, you were dying in the dark zone going between landmarks?
Yeah.
I know.
It
I remember
felt like that.
Or incursions, and you're like wait a second.
Was it Thursday night or Friday night? I can't remember when it was. It might have been Friday night of last week after they did the patch. Yeah, it was not a patch, their maintenance. It's just, I don't know whether it was just like preparing us for what they did this week. I don't know, but
it was like, well, look how hard the content, look how hard we can make the content, and now we're going to make it easier for you to some degree. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty good week. I know there's been a few issues. Boris, I know you've got delted a couple of times, haven't you? Still,
I still get delted. I got delted today actually on lunch. I was what was I doing? I was doing one of the missions to check off the weekly project for the blueprint, and I got delted in the middle of the mission. Luckily, the way the new deltas work, you get put right back into where I left off. So that was good. It was Potomac, so it's one of the longer Outcast missions. So that was it though, honestly, in like an hour and a half of playing. But the delta came 3 minutes into the mission.
Sounds like you had a lucky delta, because all the deltas I've had recently have been server crashes. So when you log back in, it resets it, and your progress is gone.
So I guess that's what they meant.
That's why Yannick looked really tired today on State of the Game.
Oh, so that's the deltas there. So it's not just a normal delta crash to the desktop.
No, the
situation.
servers are crashing, I think, and it's just reset because
I didn't know that.
I did the weekly invaded incursion this week. I can't remember which one it is. It's the
District Arena.
Yeah, I did that, and we killed the boss, and then I match made, and we all just delted, and I joined back in, and they're restarting it basically because none of us got the rewards for completing it. But we killed the boss.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was server deltas. I thought it was just a traditional deltas. But Mike, the most of the crashes that I had before the update were in conflict.
Yeah, I do remember.
Every time we grouped up, man, I was always the only one that ever got delta crash. So I haven't touched conflict since the update, and I probably won't touch it I might, if I can get an SMG build going and just throw it in there to test it, because I should test a new normalization, because we're all normalized to 500 values instead of 450 or whatever it used to be. So technically the build that I have, I don't really necessarily need to finish it. I can just go in there and test it for the sake of testing.
Should be better, if anything.
In theory, yes, on paper it should be better.
Unless all your pieces are 500, which I doubt.
No. I'm pretty sure my vest isn't. My backpack isn't. No, my backpack is. My gloves are. My knee pads are not. My holster is not. I'm at like 498. I'm still getting like 496, 495 pieces dropping.
I'm at 495 because I'm using a crafted piece.
and some dirty mods, if I remember right.
Yeah, but that doesn't reduce your skill.
It doesn't, yeah.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in general.
I'm using a 475 chest because I crafted a Fenris chest, and it's the best thing I've got.
Yeah, that's... I had I think I threw on like a 450 knee pad, and I was like, holy crap, exactly what I want. And then I looked at the values, I was like, wait a second. I was like, why did my armor go down? My gear score was like at 490. I was like, oh, what?
Have you managed to max out the gear score level 100 yet? Have you maxed
the recalibration score? Yeah. Yes, I've maxed out one piece already.
Yeah, me too.
With one roll.
Yeah, me too.
One roll. I went from...
I'm interested because obviously like the health pools went up. What's the highest health roll you've seen on a piece of gear so far?
42,000. Oh no, 44,000. Sorry.
Same here, 44,000
What was that on?
on a purple Alps.
Yeah, it was on it's on chest piece.
It was a purple Alps chest for me.
Jesus, I was looking at like, I think it was knees, and it was like 25K, something like that. It's like, Jesus.
Was that, if you remember the brand, was that an Overlord piece?
Probably.
Because Overlord,
It could
I got
be.
one. I got one yesterday that rolled like 19,000, and it's Overlord, and it's the highest I've seen on a knee pad. Even Gilla doesn't roll that high. Gilla rolls like 14,000, but Gilla has the mod slots.
The piece I maxed out was a Gilla knee pad. I had a Gilla knee pad with like really high base damage, base armor. Base armor, which means the attribute armor was really low. It was like 8K, I want to say. But that's because the base armor was like 29, almost 30K. And then I put 16K armor on that, which then took it to 100 gear score.
And then there was Luke
Whatever.
yesterday getting what? Was it 40? Was it 40% damage to elites?
That was me.
That was
it
Rob.
you?
You got 41.
41%.
41.
I thought Luke had one.
No, he was stating the highest
Oh, he was stating what the highest was. I
Right.
thought
55.
he
with
actually
the gear
picked it up.
set. With the gear set masks, you can get as high as 55.
Right. Okay. Yeah, the only issue I've seen, I haven't been delted at all. The only issue I've seen is the loadouts. I've got a huge issue with the loadouts at the minute. So yeah, I had an LMG build, trying to switch to my vector build, won't switch.
That
It
was
just flips back.
That was the before the patch, though.
If it is,
I've
I've
had that
only
before.
just got it now.
I've had it before. I can't remember what caused it, but I figured out why. I can't remember.
Hemsley support at its
Yeah,
finest.
there you go.
Wow, you do this stuff for a
I
living.
should
Wow.
write shit down.
Oh my god. Mike's like, wait a second. Are you
I
going
don't
to tell
do
me
this
how to
shit. I
fix
don't
it, you
make games for
jerk?
a living.
You're maintenance support now, right?
I'm a systems engineer. I'm like, yeah, I'm
Don't do anything.
yeah, basically.
Sit on your ass and drive automatic cars. Anyway, we do have some news to kind of get into, so let's get down to it.
State of the game.
Okay, so Hamish and Yannick were on the State of the Game today, discussing some of the issues that have obviously arrived as Title Update 3 has dropped this week, and talked a little bit about the raid, which will be released on Thursday, for those that don't already know.
Well, if you listen to this
You now know.
on Thursday, then you've got a couple of hours to.
Get ready.
Get ready. If you haven't heard about this already, then fucking hell, where have you been?
Also, it's
Under a
it's-
rock.
Well, you can actually go see the countdown in the game, can't you? Because if you head up to the helipad with the chopper, there is an official in-game countdown, which kind of made me laugh when Hamish was like, he got really excited because he was going to tell everybody when it was, and then there was like an in-game countdown, if I remember right. Okay, so first things that they discussed, there was an invasion reset. This is something we noticed yesterday. Everything got reset as of the... I had to double check. Yes, it was yesterday. Everything kind of got reset yesterday.
Yeah.
To kind of line it up to the update.
No, it's so it's so they could give people another chance to get Nemesis before the raid, because the Nemesis is going to be pretty important in the raid.
Yes, it sounds like it. I got to ask you boys. Let's be honest. Do you think they changed the weekly invasion and the weekly missions? Was it weekly missions?
Well, no, they said it's going to be scheduled from now on, so they know what it's going to be. They can set it up. It's not random anymore. They changed it.
Yeah, it was starting Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Was basically that's the reason that they changed it, wasn't it? Because they wanted it to be scheduled rather than random. So because we were just getting resets at random times, weren't we?
No, every Thursday.
The invaded stuff refreshed every Thursday.
With them as a maintenance.
But now that the invasion isn't RNG based, they needed to start with that new schedule, which was yesterday, which is why it reset back to District Arena after Capitol Building last Thursday.
But then it's changing again this
And then it's
Thursday.
changing again this Thursday.
To give a short turnaround on the people that need to get.
Because most were missing the blueprint.
Yeah, for the Nemesis.
If people logged in on a Thursday or Friday and did their invasion stuff, they got their fourth and last piece from Capitol, but they needed Grand Washington.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday dropped, they update the game, and then it's like, hi, here you go. Go into story mode, get a blueprint, and get the best sniper in the game.
Okay, so do you think it's RNG, the fact that mission just so happened to...
Hell no.
Not from what Yannick said today or tonight. No, it looked like it was kind of like, yeah, there's only 2 days before the raid. It is probably a weapon they should have. Let's just make it reset completely from day one type schedule. But it's like you only gave them 48 or 50 some odd hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why they put out like a massive warning on the state
It's
of the
like,
game.
yeah, you might want to log in. Yeah, you might want to log in tonight and just go do a mission for 5 minutes to get a blueprint and then die and then log off. Or die or get the blueprint, die, go to the crafting bench, craft it, upgrade it, log off.
The people that, like they said in the state of the game, the people that were like, oh, yeah, we can get the fourth weapon part or whatever this week. I'll do it later on in the week.
Yep.
The people that didn't do it, like put it off,
yeah,
and now screwed because they would thought they would have, yeah.
The ones that wait till Wednesday to knock out all their stuff.
This is why time getting exotics are a bad idea.
Really?
It shouldn't be. Well,
I actually, honest to God, I kind of want the AR to be similar.
It won't be. It's going to be a random drop,
but not like, you know, you have to do the freaking raid 5 times to get. No, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm just referring to like, if it is, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be RNG, but I just would have loved it for it to been something we go and hunt pieces for, like we did for the Nemesis.
I'm going to be honest though, I just hope it's not Oprah RNG.
No, if they're
All
following, if they're following Destiny's model of the 1,000 Voices, which is the raid exotic for last raid that's in Destiny. There may be another one now. I'm not sure.
The rest, they announced it the other day.
I don't care.
Yes, he does.
No, I don't.
I saw you playing it the other day.
No, you didn't. I'm not friends with you on that account.
I thought you were just saying I'm not friends with you anymore.
Some people took 65 runs or plus to get that exotic.
I hope it takes you. Right. Let's be honest though, Rob, it's not going to take you that long to get it.
I'll get
I
it
hope
first go.
Yeah, you will. I'm hoping you get your sweet Lorraine Barrett's RNG back for the raid.
Why would you hope that? It's just a horrible thing to hope. Why would you want
How
me
many
to do it?
times did you run that thing?
More than I'd like to admit.
More than 65 times?
Yeah,
Dude,
more than
I remember
65.
those nights. You would get off, you would log off, or you would just leave group to literally finish a night running Lex. Just with a RNG or a pug group, just in hopes to get your fucking stupid ass fast. I remember that.
Yep.
Oh my God. I
Those
wasn't
were the
any
days.
better, but I already had it. All the drops that I had were absolute trash. Like electronics rolls, 1700 armor, absolutely terrible. The best one I got came from Matt on the PS4. He had already gotten a God roll one. So me and him were in a group and he dropped one. It was like pretty much God roll. Firearm rolled, almost 1900, almost 2000 armor and ammo and health.
That shit, dude.
I'm trying to think. I think I had a very similar thing with the house. I couldn't get the house to drop, and then Luke ended up getting one in the dark zone.
Yeah, I rang you up. I rang your house.
You rang my house, and you're like, dude, get on your PlayStation now.
Yeah.
My house was the same. I had a crappy first house. It was basically a tactician house. Like, you know, like talented. It's something else in the middle. And then, oh man, who dropped me the best house? Gus? I think it was Gus. Gus dropped me we're talking unforgiving, responsive. So you basically pick your poison after that. Do you want deadly? Do you want, you know what I mean? And then once the optimized bench came out, it went to 286 immediately. And then it took me a very long time to get my own God rolled house, a second one, like a very long time. And by then I didn't care because I already had one and I would just alternate between characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were lucky if you had one at one point.
Yeah. And then I started dropping them. Every time I got one, I started dropping them.
When it first came out, it was rare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next up, Hardwire Gear Set Chest has had the attributes changed.
Yeah, I seen this on Reddit today.
They've basically been re-rolled. Has people been complaining about?
What's the hazard? You could get like really high hazard protection, like up to like 95%, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy
like
crap.
stupidly high hazard protection. And they re-rolled it to something else. I don't know what they re-rolled it to. It wasn't intentional.
Jesus. I mean, they talked about the frequent deltas. They're investigating it. They're trying to fix it as soon as possible, especially with the raid coming. That was pretty much what they said today. They want to kind of give the best experience for people. Obviously, Title Update 3 was supposed to do that. Like Rob said earlier, Yannick looked absolutely knackered.
Yeah, he does, because imagine world's first raid team getting to the boss
and getting deltaed.
And then killing the boss, and then they delta, and then nothing counts because the server reset. They'd start from the beginning again. Imagine.
Yeah,
like we should have a moment's silence just for the thought.
Because that probably will happen to one team at some point.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty nervous, man. I'm worried about our servers.
Yeah, I think I said to Rob last night. I think I'm worried about the raid, but I can't explain why. I think because it's such a different piece of content for them to do, and obviously we have various issues, and they said on the State of the Game today, anyone that obviously gets to World's First, which we'll talk about in a minute, but legitimately, not by cheesing their way through it. It's just how quick these cheeses and all the rest of it kind of arrive. Next up, we've got Roosevelt Islands. There's been a progression blocker, basically stopping you from going through the mission. Rob?
What?
What's actually going on with this one?
Yeah, I was watching Wids yesterday. He was trying to do this for a bounty, which is why a lot of people are trying to do it for those sweet blueprints.
Oh.
And I think he tried it on hard, and the rope wouldn't drop. And I think the trick is to do it on challenging. I think hard and normal is bugged. But challenging's fine.
Well, that's convenient because they nerfed Roosevelt Island challenging.
Yeah.
So it's even easier than it was before, and it was easy before.
If you're in a decent, to be fair, if you're in a decent group,
I soloed the damn fucking. I soloed it. It's not. It was not hard.
The invaded version is different. Invaded version is easy.
So if he's doing it, all right. If he was doing it for the weekly project, you don't need to do it invaded. You just do it regular. The regular, and that's what they changed, was the regular one, the one against the Outcast. It wasn't the invaded version that they changed.
Yeah, because
the invaded version on challenging is challenging. It is
hard.
very challenging. Yeah. I soloed that in the world tier progression, and I was like, was I supposed to solo in a
but you didn't do it on challenging, did you?
No, but it was like it was the first time. As soon as I unlocked it, so you do your usual thing, and then the stronghold unlocks. I did it immediately, and I was like, I don't know if I was supposed to solo that because I don't have I barely had the gear score requirement, but I was able to solo it, and I was kind of concerned, like, all right, this shouldn't be a thing, or is this a thing?
That kind of concerned us as we were going through like the first three, because we were like, should we really be finding this that kind of easy to progress through? to get to the world, like to the next world tier, you would
Mhm.
expect to be like higher difficulty. But yeah, there's progression blockers. Hopefully they get fixed. I mean, there's a maintenance tomorrow. Maybe that'll fix it. Otherwise, it's gonna have to be a client-side patch. But they are looking into it.
I feel like it might actually, if it's because you think about it, it's on a weekly project right now that ends tomorrow.
Mm.
Because I have to do it. That's what I got to do tonight before I go to bed. Because I need
have
that
to do it.
Wait.
If I don't do it, I'll die.
If I don't do it, I won't sleep.
I'll be like, why didn't I do it?
What's gonna piss me off is I'm gonna get another gear set blueprint.
No, what you need to do is go to bed early because we got a raid tomorrow or today.
Tomorrow night, man. That's tomorrow night.
Oh,
You ever
yeah,
heard of a
you-
nap, Mike?
No, because I'm not a baby.
You're doing it wrong, dude. You're doing it wrong. I
I'm
take
not-
at least 2 naps a day. At least 2.
To be fair, Rob used to go to sleep in his car at lunchtime.
He's doing it right.
Yeah. Siesta.
That's
eh?
what you do.
Siesta.
When we used to live in Jersey, that's what I did
Yes.
too. I had a 30-minute drive home, so I've had the luxury of going home for lunch here. So in Jersey, I didn't have that luxury. On lunch, I'd eat my lunch, the first 10 minutes of my hour in the break room, watching whatever stupid television that was on. And then I would go into my car, recline the seat, and sleep for the next 50. Woke up, went right into work, continued on my day.
Feeling
You do realize
drowsy as fuck.
And that was before kids, Mike. That was before we had kids.
You do realize you could just be a normal person and sleep the same time as everybody else.
Nope. Then I wouldn't be an elitist.
Man's
I
got a
understand
point.
your pain. Okay, so some of you might have seen some additional content popping up on the map. That's because classified assignments have been introduced. They are exclusive to anyone that has the year 1 pass. You basically have to head to the area that's marked on the map and find the entrance. From what I hear, myself and Boris were going around in circles on the second one because 2 of them were added to the game.
Oh, this was amusing. Yesterday.
Yeah, that was fun.
I literally went around that whole building, went inside the building, killed the NPCs.
You both streamed it, and I watched both of you, and I was in both of your chats when it happened. It made
was
me
like, what
very
the
happy.
But in this way, the doors aren't easy to find straight away.
I was so mad. I was like,
yeah, it
watch
is.
watch it be around this corner. Watch it. Oh my God, it's right here.
Have you guys enjoyed the classified assignments so far?
Yeah.
I did. Good little additional
They
weekly.
remind me of like
When I was a boy.
when I was a boy.
When
No,
I
you know
was
the,
a young boy.
The contaminated area, like contaminated buildings that you do during the 1 to 30. They remind me of that, but with like some enemies in them.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And more, and lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not as many lore segments as I thought there would be, because there's only 4 per mission, and then you've got a collectible. I don't know if you guys want to say what they are.
No.
We're going to keep that secret.
It's whatever. You tune in. If you watch enough streamers, most of them probably have a year 1 pass, and most probably didn't. So you'll see it eventually.
I'd be interested to see what the other ones are. The reset weekly. I don't.
Yes.
Can we change the difficulty on these? Because I only saw story. I didn't try any other difficulty.
I didn't go back to the door, so I have no idea if you can replay
I don't think
it.
it's
It
about
just-
that. I don't
Yeah.
think it's about difficulty. I think it's just about
Extra.
Exploration,
extra content.
puzzles.
Yeah, like lore.
Because
Oh, that
story.
downstairs. There's a downstairs door puzzle on this one, on the second one, and I was like going around in circles for a little bit. I was like, "You fucking idiot! It's that thing right up there."
it took me longer than I thought it would. I saw the cables as soon as you walked into the mission.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I got turn generators on. Hell yeah, I'm gonna trace these wires. I traced them all, and I was like, why isn't the door unlocking? And then it clicked that the keypad changed color, and I was like, and it gave me the interact, and then lo and behold, I was able to finish it. And I was like, son of a bitch.
So you turned on the generators, but you couldn't actually go through the door because you didn't press the button.
because I didn't pay attention to the keypad. When you pick up a certain item in the mission, the keypad changes color.
Yeah.
And that's how you know you can actually access it.
Anyway,
which, by the way, is the exact same thing. It happens in all of the other missions in the game. So for me to not realize that the stupid keypad changed color is on me more than anything.
On the game itself, yeah.
Right.
I feel like they're preparing you for the raid puzzles a little bit as well. We're going to get similar things
Hopefully.
in the raid, I reckon.
Well, if we get
You saw the trailer, right?
If we get stuck against the door, we're fucked.
or there's an elevator where your arms break when you're trying to open it.
Box you got to shoot somewhere that we don't know where it is.
No, honestly, we're gonna get to a door and be like, "Fuck, the door's not opening." Just someone open it. Someone press the button and open it.
Damn, it's locked from the inside. How do we shoot the lock?
There is an apparel event going on during the Dark Hours operation.
Oh my
Apparel. Sorry, I read things how.
You read things in French.
Yes. But yeah.
Without a French accent, which is impressive, by the way.
Fuck's sake. Running from May 16th to the 23rd, you can log in and get a free apparel cache. Fuck's sake. May 16th to June 6th. Keys can be obtained through gameplay or bought. June 6th to June 13th. You have to finish the collections before the special reward is removed.
Oh, I'm be spending some money again.
And year one owners get 3 additional free keys. However, what else is happening on Thursday, Rob? On Twitch.
Oh, you mean the drops?
Yeah, there's Twitch drops.
Yes.
So if you log in...
They're doing a stream before the raid, an hour before the stream. A stream before an hour... Ugh. Let me try this one more time. If I don't do it, someone else can do it. An hour before the raid drops, they're going to start streaming The Division. I mean, The Division game, Twitch. and you can get stuff just by watching. Broken? Just by watching.
Oh my god.
Mini stroke again.
Fucking hell. Okay, so just head over to twitch.tv/ The Division game an hour before the raid drops.
Yeah, with your linked Twitch account to your Ubisoft account, which is quite difficult to do, if I remember.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but once you've got it sorted, it's pretty good.
Once you do it once, you never have to do it again.
Okay. Moving on. Obviously, raid matchmaking. I want to kind of talk about this properly in a minute, but I just want to go over what they're saying on. Okay, so there's been huge conversations at the minute. We only found out Tuesday, 2 days ago, from by the time everyone hears this podcast, that raid matchmaking will not be a thing in Division 2. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know this till about an hour before the state of the game. So I saw Weezer put out a tweet and he was like, "Do you think we should have it?"
He already knew, didn't he?
I don't know. Maybe he's got secrets. But anyway, the raid will not have matchmaking at the minute because things could change. However, the devs have said we decided not to include matchmaking as we don't think this will create a good gameplay experience for random groups. The raid will test your ability to communicate well, have a good build setup, and will require great teamwork to beat encounters. Players should not look at the raid as another incursion. The raid is not something you do randomly. This is something you plan, you organize, and you prepare for. Builds, roles, etc. During the raid, you communicate and then learn from that experience and do it differently the next time. And that's why they wanted to go with a preset and organized group so that you have a good experience in the raid. You can talk to each other, coordinate, and be prepared. Especially as this is the Division's first raid, and like the whole point of trying to play the raid blind is the whole discovery phase where you're basically learning how to beat the raid, and it's that kind of thing of working together as a team to get it done. And if I guess if you haven't got anyone communicating and all the rest of it, then you're not going to have that. However, they have said they're open-minded for future developments, changes, evolvement of the activity, and they don't take any feedback lightly because the raid is a very important part of the Division 2. But for the launch of the raid, as it stands, there will be no matchmaking. Now, I do want to discuss this in a minute.
What do you mean in a minute? You mean now, right?
No, in a minute.
What are you going to say now, then?
No, I'm going to say now is we did have a raid trailer this week. What did you guys think of the raid trailer? You haven't watched it?
I've heard it's like Endgame, though. And there's a picture of an exotic.
I'd blame Cat for that. Yeah, it's the eagle bearer.
Eagle bearer.
Yeah, there's a sweet exotic AR by the looks of it. Obviously, you've got the 3 gear sets coming from the raids. The raid and vanity items.
Isn't there like a holster with a tomahawk on it as well?
It was an axe.
Yeah.
It looked like the hunter axe,
Yes.
actually.
A tomahawk.
Yeah.
An axe, yeah, you're right. Tomahawk is a character from Killer Instinct.
It's also a name of an axe.
A tomahawk is a fucking stone tied to a stick.
Stick stone.
An axe is not a fucking tomahawk.
Okay, we're
Wait
just
for
going
Robert
to
to
disagree with this part. Okay. Let's move on.
No, I'm playing. I don't care.
Okay, so we have got a few details on Operation Dark Hours. So the release date is May 16, which is Thursday at 4 p.m. No, 5
p.m. GMT.
5 GMT.
5 p.m. GMT. And
Which is really weird. They literally said 5 p.m. British time, which
Yeah.
they never use.
They don't.
Ever.
Always use CEST
Yeah.
or CET.
They were emphasizing it for us, Rob,
Yeah, obviously.
because we don't get time. Operation Dark Hours pits 8 players against each other together for the first time in the history of the franchise to experience the most challenging activity available in the Division 2. Here, teamwork, collaboration, and adaptation will be required, and you will be tested and, above all, rewarded. The requirements to participate in Dark Hours: you need to be level 30. You have to have reached World Tier 5. It says level 5. Gear score 490. However, you do not need a full party of 8 to begin the raid. However, the overall difficulty will not scale accordingly to how many players are present.
So it is soloable.
It is, but it will always be scaled for 8 players.
Dude, I'm so jumping in there solo to see how fucking hard this thing is. You imagine anything scaled to 8 players solo?
Dude, you're just going to spawn and be like, dead.
I'm dead.
It says, secure the area. I'm going to walk out one shot.
Don't go in till we all go in together. That's not how this works.
Mike,
It's
he's
not-
not.
I'm
he's
not
a Destiny
actually
player. He
going
doesn't
to solo
understand blind raiding.
Blind raid, dude. Don't watch anyone raid tomorrow. Please. Honestly.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious. Don't watch anyone raid. Honestly, I think you've ruined that experience for yourself.
Mike's going to be sadly disappointed when we raid tomorrow, I think, because
Yeah,
majority of the
don't-
team are
don't
going to know
fucking-
what to do.
Honestly, I will kick you from our group if you know
No, you
what
won't.
the fuck's going on.
Maybe you should put that in,
That's a very good point.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should.
In your LFG post
Yeah.
you made, you might wanna say highly recommend. If not, I will boot you the F out.
Well, you
Go in blind, please.
You
Don't
have
watch the
to.
streamer
Come
at
on.
6
well,
o'clock.
no, you don't have to go in blind.
No,
but just don't.
you don't.
Just don't ruin it for anyone.
Oh no! I'm not gonna. Even if I go in there solo before we group up tomorrow night, what I'm referring to is I actually want to see the scaling as a
Yes,
somebody
I
going in
know
solo.
what you're saying, but I was thinking like stay away from it tomorrow. It's like 3 hours. It's
Oh, you
literally
mean like at 6 o'clock when it goes live for me?
yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch any of the full-time streamers.
I am.
You can.
I'm not. I didn't. What did I
maybe
not
did.
do? I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of the special invites for all the folks that got sent out to San Francisco and North Carolina and Malmo, like Wids, Marco, LT Buzz, Russian Badger and his friends, Tuxbird, No, not Tinks. Somebody went out to Shifty, Tony.
What was it? Epic Slayers went out as well, I think.
Yeah, they all got flown out to all the various places, and they were allowed to YouTube and record. I didn't watch any of the stuff prior to the game coming out because I caught a few missions, and it had a very particular NPC that had a very new weapon, and I was like, "Yep, turning it off. I don't want to get spoiled. I want to be killed by that and be like, okay, this dude."
I think that's the thing. Coming from Destiny, I've just kind of got this mindset. Well, the downside is the time that they're releasing it as well. They're releasing it at 5 o'clock. Most people are just getting home from work and all the rest of it. In England, but you think if we had they'd pushed it a few hours.
In America, it's what?
Yeah, it's still early.
9 o'clock in the morning,
isn't it? Yeah, it's still early.
Yeah, so
because
the ones that will suffer the most, I think, this time, if they want to go for world's first, are the U.S.
Yeah,
because they're actually in the middle of their workday.
What time is it in Australia?
Except for the 6 p.m. in Australia or 5 GMT.
It's going to be like 4 in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be. I spoke to my dad, and he was like, "They're going to be raiding Friday night because I don't think people can do it Thursday." Obviously, the raid drops stupid time as well. What 5?
They're
5
It's
o'clock.
kind of clever though, because it means the people that are going for raids first, world's first raid. Sorry, I can't talk. Are going to be committed to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, stateside you have to take off work unless you're already off.
That, or it's a streamer event. Essentially, it's not really for people that have day jobs.
Well, I mean, they've got the Race to World's First Twitch event going on, haven't they? And they've got a $50,000 prize up for grabs with 24 teams going in.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, it is literally it's going to be a Twitch streamer event.
It's a Twitch Rivals. It's a Twitch Rivals event tomorrow night.
Yeah. It's going to be
tomorrow our night, tomorrow morning AM Pacific time, US Pacific time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who wins.
I think none of them are going to win. I think it's going to be a random ass team that's going to win.
I kind of hope it is a random ass team.
Probably. Yeah, it probably will be.
On PS4.
It works out to like 8,000 to 9,000 per raid member. I mean, per team. Per raid member. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I just thought about that as well. You're going to have across all world's first across all platforms.
No, the world's first. The people that are going to get immortalized.
Right. They're going to be immortalized across all platforms.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not platform specific.
Yep. The Twitch Rivals tournament is across all platforms as well. So it could be a bunch of Xbox and PS4 teams along with PC teams amongst the 24. Kirky last night in my chat was saying that 4 teams were already accounted for before. So basically it's really open to 20 public teams.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet the Twitch rival teams that were already the first 4 were teams from a previous division conflict event. Because they've already done a division conflict event on Twitch Rivals.
Yeah.
Wiz was in it. Zeronic was in it.
Yeah.
So I imagine some of those teams, quote unquote, that are still playing the game are probably like, hey, we're doing a raid thing. You want to do it?
Weren't people that normally play the game.
Right. No. Well, I mean, I don't know. All I know is Twitch. All I know is Wiz is in it tomorrow. That's all I know. Because that's his stream title today was Twitch Rivals Prep. Or tournament. Raid tournament prep is what he called it. So, I mean, we can kind of do a process of elimination of who he's played with in the past. So you can imagine who his team is going to be. For the tournament, this is referring to the tournament. I have no idea if this is also they're trying to do world's first at the same time. I imagine so.
Yeah. No, I already know what his raid team is. I could tell you right now.
So, no, I mean, it's fine. I don't care. I kind of already know 6 of the 8. So it's Zeronic, Bolo, Pengu, Goddess, Shroud.
What? No.
That's a different game.
That's all. What are you talking about? They're all the pro streamers. They all played the Division 2.
You forgot Microwave.
microwave too. And the Russian Badger is their 9th in case somebody falls. Drops out.
He's the guy on the bench.
Oh,
imagine being the bench guy. That fuck.
The bench warmer.
The dude sitting in the Twitch
team.
chat the whole damn
He's just
night.
chatting to everyone.
Can you mod our stream?
Yeah. Oh, that would suck.
Okay. So the raid is actually protected by a weekly timer. As a result, as with all raids, as far as I'm aware,
Exclusive
boss
loot
loot
once a
will only-
week.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure Marco said a long time ago, have 4 characters and you'll be able to run it several times a week. I can imagine you're going to be able to rerun it, but you're not going to be able to get any boss drops. Would you?
You can
agree with
farm
that?
it, but you can't get. No, you know how you get loot from completing your daily.
Yeah.
It'll be a project. It'll be a project. Complete the raid. You won't get. You'll only get that once a week, unless you've got multiple characters.
I mean, you're saying it'd be a project, but I'm on about like raid gear, exotics, stuff like that. You're only going to get once. You're only going to get a chance to earn those once.
You'll be able to farm the gear sets, I imagine, because they'll drop randomly.
Oh, I hope not.
I mean, depending on what they meant by raid specific rewards from the state of the game, they made it sound like anything that can only drop from the raid, you only get a chance at it once a week.
Which would kind of line up with other raids that we've played.
So, but Yannick said you can farm it for just your traditional
Loot.
high-end drops, but you won't get those exclusive drops, which I take as the exotic and any of the gear sets.
Yeah.
Which means the 4 character thing is kind of pretty much important if you want to increase your chances at finishing the gear sets and or getting the AR.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get another character to level 3 or to 5 at some point.
Yeah, I mean, we've already discussed rewards. There's going to be accommodations and a unique arm patch. And if you beat the raid during the first week, there will also be an exclusive arm patch and clan trophy.
Yeah. The clan trophy is just from beating it, I think. It's not exclusive to the first week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. I'm excited. I'm really excited about the raid. The fact it's taking place at Washington Airport is pretty cool as well. It looked.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick. I'm excited to see how it artistically got laid out.
Yeah, because
I've flown out of there a few times because that's basically home. Washington D.C. was 30 minutes from where I used to live, so I'm excited to see
what it looks like after the collapse.
How it looks. How it's all blown to hell and Black Tusk taking over, and where they put a gargantuan Gatling gun that can 4-shot you.
Yeah, they put Rob in the trailer. It might be spoilers. I hope it's not. But they put like a huge fucking Gatling gun, and it looked like a rocket launcher or some shit in there, didn't it?
Man, I don't know what that thing was.
I don't know what it was, but
it almost looked like a huge Bluetooth speaker, and I'm afraid that thing might be a gargantuan EMP.
Is it an APC?
Which basically it shoots out like this radius is massive, and you got to do a puzzle to disable it, which obviously is important because you can't use a single skill.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you won't be able to use any skills.
That would be sick if it was a huge EMP, and that is.
On?
What's
that?
An
APC we put C4 on.
It did have wheels.
It's got no checkpoints, and there's 15 rounds, Rob.
But there is a room you could probably get behind and throw a drone at it and do damage.
Throw a drone.
The one drone that can do damage.
Ladder, you get to it and just kill it with grenades.
I mean, let's be honest. It's gonna have mechanics. Obviously, you're gonna have bosses, mini bosses. You're gonna have. Do you think we're gonna have some kind of DPS check tomorrow?
I hope so.
Rob?
Do
you think they'll go the route of DPS check?
I don't know. It scares me if they do. because that's just going to be a sponge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have watched a few Space Magic raids.
Destiny.
What was it? Destiny 2's very first raid. I was watching Eric's team, M26 and whoever his crew, trying to beat it. I believe they didn't even do it.
Oh, that was the second raid they dropped, wasn't it?
No. First raid.
No, the very first Destiny 2 raid.
Took 18 hours to complete.
Yeah,
they were dead.
So Eric's stream VOD was 13 hours, and from what I understand, it didn't complete.
No, they didn't.
So I was watching that, and there was they met, he was kind of sort of talking, even though he said at the beginning of his stream, like, hey guys, if you've watched me before on a stream during a raid, I usually don't read chat because we're so focused. He's like, so don't take it personally, blah, blah, blah. And then there was a segment that they verbally all said, like, hey, this is DPS check. And I was like, oh shit. And I could see what the whole DPS check was, right? So I already kind of know what that is about. I personally would like it. I mean, I'm going to sound stupid, but I would like it to be very Destiny-esque.
So it's
got to be, you know what I mean?
There's mechanics until you get a chance to do DPS on a boss. You get a set amount of time to do it. It then resets and you have to do the mechanics again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of shit.
They kind of, without really doing it that way, like a quote unquote mechanic, some of the, we've seen them now, the bounty bosses or even Wyvern at the end of Tidal Basin. She's immune.
Yeah.
You have to do something or you trigger something and the boss it removes the immunity.
Yeah,
and then
you're
you
doing
can do
something
damage.
else to basically shift it off her for a few seconds while she goes off and does whatever and then comes back. And then it'll give you time to obviously kill her and all the rest of it.
Right. So, I mean, it sort of exists already in Division 2 without necessarily needing to hit a couple buttons and then, unlock the ability to do damage to a boss.
Yeah, I'm really interested how the mechanics are going to play out. I mean, obviously discussing the classified assignments, just even something as stupid as, it's not stupid, but you see a door, your brain automatically clicks, oh, there's 2 yellow cables on the floor, I'm going to follow those, turn on the generators, go back, and then if you've got sense, press the button to open the doors. I'm hoping it's going to be, well,
there's going to be
elements it's going to be a lot more than that, because
it's not going to be the main.
But how difficult is this thing going to be? I've got to imagine, like, it might not be damage specific. I'm wondering if the mechanics are going to be pretty difficult because you've got 8 people in a raid together.
Yeah, but you're going to get split up.
Yeah, that's obviously going to happen. I mean, I'm thinking
that would be cool as fuck.
Definitely going to get split up.
It's something they did in Destiny, Vault of Glass. They basically, towards the end when you're taking on Atheon, 3 people?
3 and 3 on each side of the
so 3 people got sent through a portal to another world. So it was different planets as well, wasn't it? It was
it was
Mars.
the same world, just through time.
Was it?
Oh, different worlds, but different time as well.
Yeah, a different time. Ignore that. But you got sent somewhere else, and it the location was different. So
space magic.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, if you got teleported to Mars, you would call out, and that would tell the other team on the 3 in the 6. The other 3 people.
I feel like you could be that even more. So
the other 3 people would know which portal to defend, so you could get back home.
Yeah,
I'm gonna channel Luke here. So you're telling me you're on a different planet, totally, and you're able to communicate with somebody on another planet.
Okay. Imagine there's in
another time zone.
Imagine there's 2
Dude,
big.
we're doing it now.
Have you ever watched Stargate? There's 2 big Stargates, right?
No, I don't want to know Stargate.
Have you played Portal?
You have to stand somewhere, and that keeps that Stargate open, right?
Basically, 3 people had to hold a platform
by the boss, Atheon, to another planet, another time, distant time, and they have to kill these glowy
time
things.
Is relevant,
right? And do it within a certain amount of time, otherwise you die. So complicated, right?
And you lost your only listener. All right.
And then the people that are
stuck
back where you are in the raid have to defend the portal, so they can, once they've killed all these glowy things, get out of there. And while this is all happening, someone has to go around with a stupid shield and stop you from being blind. It's like
if you break it
you
down,
try and matchmake that shit, it doesn't work.
Yeah, especially the first time you're
doesn't
trying to figure out how the fuck to do that with 6 other people that may or may not be on communications. So to have 8 people, you know,
When me and Mike did that the first time, we
LFG'd it.
Yeah, but then we had a very good teacher.
Yes, we did.
Don't know what his name was. Don't know
But
what his
thank
name
you.
was, but thank you.
But that's the thing. The first raid we ever did. I mean, we played Destiny. I mean, it came out in September. We probably played it like 6 months after it came out. And we were like, oh shit, there's a raid at the end of it. Let's go try it out because you know we kind of fell off the bandwagon with it, and then went back to it because I think I said to you, Rob, I was like, I want to finish the game. And then we started playing it, and then that's where we kind of got really involved in it.
When you finish the game, that's when the game began.
Yeah, we didn't realize that at the time because it didn't feel like it was advertised. Much like the Division 2 is kind of getting to that point now where now the game is really beginning. But I expect we're going to see something where at some point in the raid, you're going to have 4 people stay in a location. I think this is what Rob was trying to say in a complicated way. The Vault of Glass is you're going to have 4 people stay in one location whilst the other 4 people go off and do something else, which is going to be mechanic based. Whilst the 4 people who stay put are either on a platform and are probably protecting from, you know, I'm thinking like heavy machine gunners or something like that, and doggos and all the rest of it. And if that shit's going on and you have to stay on platforms,
yeah, without cover, in a cover-based shooter,
just saying, like that's going to be fucking difficult.
That would be wicked. Or the entire floor turns to lava.
Someone to explain.
No, I don't want a fire engine again.
I would love now to explain the Oryx battle to Boris, but I feel like it would take too long.
Can we end the podcast before you do?
I feel like it would take about another hour for him to understand.
Look. He understands that it took the first raid team 18 hours.
Well, that was for
the very first Destiny 2 raid.
It was 18 hours.
Destiny 2 raid. That was the new. Yeah,
that's the only raid. That's actually the only raid I watched. Because I didn't give a 2 shits about Destiny 2 or Destiny, so I didn't watch anything Destiny, even 1.
It's because they all got stuck at the vault. I haven't actually completed that raid, truth be told.
But I remember watching I actually scrolled through Eric's VOD and got to like a middle area, and it was a part where they're running in circles.
Yeah.
No.
And there's a symbol at the top, and somebody's got to jump through, like double jump through something, right? And Eric's was the one running and saying, "Hey, it's a whatever," to somebody else shooting at that symbol, and he was just running in circles, and they failed like 12 times in a row because there was because I assume the one that needed to shoot the symbol also had to deal with ads, right? Because obviously it would be so easy if you just ran in circles
probably
and said, "Hey, shoot
something in that situation." You probably have someone protecting the person who's doing the mechanic bit, who's getting called out to do something by somebody else. You probably have someone with him to deal with the ads. That's what we're going to have to do in this game. We're going to have like someone for crowd control. You have to have a healer. You have to DPS and some support of some kind, and like be split between 2 teams.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of like taking what we already have in the game now. The Tidal Basin is the most mechanically it's the one that has a mechanic. You have the rocket launchers at the end. You have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to destroy all 3 of them. And then I think Wyvern has a timer, but I might be wrong on that. So I can imagine something where you have a barrier of a couple of Black Tusk heavies, 2 of the big boys, 2 doggos, 1 elite, 1 purple. So you have the elite one that does stupid DPS and makes you bleed. The heavies, of course, you could dispose of them, but when it's scaled to 8 people, it's gonna take like 4 of you to take down 1 with a few procs of your talents. Now you got to do it again.
Jesus, yeah.
And then and then that's just a barrier to get you to the mechanic part. And then you have a time where you have somebody doing the mechanic part. The other 3 behind you are protecting you. Whatever that 4th person of Group A is doing the mechanic, you have the other 4 somewhere else fighting a similar type of, and not endless. Well, yeah, I guess you could say endless waves of NPCs of reds and purples with the occasional elite here and there. And you literally have to finish that mechanic before you stop the wave, and then you move into another area. And that could just be the very first area.
I'm trying to think, Rob, I can't remember. What was the raid from Destiny 1? I don't know if it was Wrath of the Machine. Was it Wrath of the Machine?
The last one they did.
The last one, was it the last one they did? Where you had 2 teams of 3. You go into an area and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? You've got a door and a bunch of thralls come out of it. Do you remember that? You had a bunch of thralls come out of it, and you had 2 teams. You have one team go left, one team go right, and they had to pick something up and bring it to the middle and shoot ads. Can you remember which one that was? Was that Wrath of the Machine, or was that a different one?
The Seether one. The red, with the red, like, glowy shit everywhere.
It might have been, honestly.
Swarms of Seether. That was the last raid they did in Destiny 1.
Yeah, it might not even be
Wrath possibly
of the
Machine, the hardest one.
But like, just communicating the first time you do that is absolutely fucking insane. And trying not to die as well, because you're relying on this is the thing with the raid. You're relying on everyone to do their job to the best of their ability and to hold their own whilst you're doing your job, if you know what I mean. If one person goes down,
yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, like, some of the raids so ridiculously got like that. Like, I'm just remembering that raid that you just said, and to do it on heroic or the hardest difficulty or whatever that is on Destiny was so complicated because you had like 3 teams of 2. You had 3 people that would have to pick up a cannon to shoot something. And then I'm not even going to bother trying to explain it. It's because you kind of had to, when the boss moved, he would spawn in 4 different locations. You had to call that out. Someone had to smash a plate that was in the right place at the right time, and then someone had to jump on his back to stop him from moving, so you could DPS him. And then, like, this all had to happen simultaneously while giving call-outs. Like, the comms was so important. Like, you had to, it was just...
It's comms, timing.
If you fucked up
your
comms,
it really is communication and reliability
of
everyone in your raid team. And yeah, sure, like, give it a couple of months, and once the thing has been out for a while, you know...
You'll be able to do it without... Well,
yeah, because everyone knows what they're doing.
You say that because the thing is, Destiny raids kind of progressed. Like, because you said you played the first Destiny 1, Destiny 2 raid, but like, since then, they've kind of progressed, and you kind of have to, they're more reactive rather than being in the right place at the right time. Like, Destiny 1 raids was all about,
stand here, kill some ads.
You stand here, kill your own ads. You've got a role to play, right? If you're good at this role, you can do it. Like the sword bearer in Crota's End, and
yeah,
like if you could do that, you were part of the raid, right? Towards the end of Destiny 2, since I played, they've made the raids more reactive, so you kind of have to
just whoever's in that place,
whoever's
in
the right
to
place at the right time
job.
has to do it. Like you have to adapt, which makes them that
even
much
more
harder.
difficult. Yeah. And like I can understand. There's probably people out there going, "Why are you going on about Destiny? What has Destiny got to do with the Division?" And
nothing. Raids are just insanely good.
It's not just that, right? I feel like, let's be honest, there was a lot of people from the Division community, right, that played Destiny. Would you agree with that? I can't be the
Not
only
so
one
much
thinking. I played
anymore.
it. I played Destiny. I moved on to the Division. I have issues with Destiny, which is why at the minute I will not play it. But that's my own shortfall. This is that's my own fault.
Destiny has its flaws,
but it does
and
some
its
really good
raids.
fucking things.
It's not one of them.
Huh?
Destiny has its flaws, but the raids are not one of them.
No, but that is the standard at the minute in the industry. I would say, would you agree with that, Rob? Destiny have set a very high standard for the raids in the gaming industry.
Mechanically, yeah.
Mechanically,
I
understand like
raid
people
design
play.
team is
What other looter game? Oh,
I
wait,
mean,
all the
you're gonna have-
MMOs,
yeah.
right? All the
So,
MMOs had raids.
But they're a
Final
different,
Fantasy,
they're a
I'm
different
guessing.
kind of raid, though.
The what? Which one didn't have a raid?
No, I said
Which
they're
one?
a different kind of raid.
No, right. Well, I'm just using it as a general.
Well, you can have World of
statement as,
Warcraft.
like a raid.
World of Warcraft. You're gonna have Final Fantasy, Star Wars: The Old Republic. There's probably a whole bunch
so it
more,
has
but I mean
raids now.
that's
Swear
the
it
only
probably
ones I
does.
really know about. But Destiny, out of all of those, has always been the biggest one. And the reason I kind of go back to that is, yes, that's my experience. But let's be honest, we know people on the dev team play Destiny. So, of course, you can be like,
Panda.
let's build something that's as good as the Destiny raids. Because
Destiny were the first, because even Borderlands didn't have raids or something raid like.
but would you be surprised if it came to
So-
Borderlands 3?
That would be if they don't bring a raid to Borderlands 3, that'd be kind of a travesty, personally. Think about it. They're obviously going to still have some influences from Destiny 1 and 2 because of the hiatus between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. Now you have the Division thrown into this mix. Now you have there might be what's another looter shooter that's been Anthem, I guess you can use that.
Still waiting on a raid from
Oh.
from the Anthem team.
So for the Borderlands argument, Borderlands 3 argument, I would hope a raid is in their future plans. But as far as the Destiny 2, Destiny 1 to Division 2, you kind of have no choice but to use it as a comparison. You have to, because the games came out relatively. Division 1, Destiny 1 came out relatively around the same time together. Destiny had raids. The Division had incursions, which were
Mini
arguably
raids.
like strikes.
Well, yeah, it strikes, yeah.
So
I'll say now, like the closest thing we've ever got to a raid is Stolen Signal. And, well, I say that in Division 1. Yes, the strongholds we've got are a step up now. But what I'm kind of scared of is the fact that today we found out who actually made Operation Dark Hours.
There's going to be 15 waves.
No, it's the same people who made Stolen Signal.
And the rest of the incursions.
Well, yeah. It's Annecy. Kind of scared.
yeah, but I loved Stolen Signal's mechanic.
Liar.
I just hated doing it because it was so frustrating at the end, because that was obviously the hardest room, that even if you did everything right, if you just were off by a pixel somehow, some way, your shield wouldn't protect the hostage and you had to start over
That's the
again.
shit thing when I'm kind of like...
And before that, it bugged. It actually
Yeah.
bugged. When you were in the right spot, it would shoot through your shield and kill the hostage. So then it was kind of like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm doing it the right way. It's bugging out. I do it the right way after a fix. Now, if I'm off by a pixel, it kills the hostage.
But then now
Like,
we've seen things completely changed, revamped with the Division 2. You look at mission design, AI, just general mechanics in the game. I'm thinking mechanics, like we said before, opening the doors, the strongholds. The strongholds, if that is meant to be like the equivalent of a strike, I'd like to see some modifiers on it. But there we go. I was talking about this on stream earlier. I'd love to see modifiers on some of the missions or strongholds that we've got in the game. Like there is definitely progression from what we had in the Division 1 to the Division 2, and you can definitely see it, which is why like you can kind of see this is the direction that they're going, and they're gonna be they're aiming for the Destiny audience, because that is it's a shitload of people. Isn't it? If you can pull that audience in, I mean, they've got the Twitch Rivals things going on. Does anyone know if like Broman and the rest of it is running the raid?
Probably not.
Because if you had those guys on board as well, and they heard that the Division raids were as difficult as the Destiny raids, how big would Destiny get then? Not Destiny.
I mean, they might be on board. I haven't watched them in a while, so.
Are they playing Division 2 though?
Like,
they were
Golf
playing.
and Broman and that lot did all play.
And the last thing you're going to want to do is have people like that laughing over content, if you know what I mean. If does that make sense?
But a lot of them won't play it. Like a lot of the Destiny players won't play it because it's third person. That's the main reason.
Yeah, I've heard that as a common complaint. Even Chris I work with is like, it looks really good. The Division 2 looks really good, but I won't play it because it's in third person.
I don't know.
Should we?
I want it to borrow some mechanics or some ideas from Destiny and Destiny 2, but at the same time, they're two different
games.
So I want it to be its own. I want the Division 2 raid and raids to be talked about like we're talking about Division 2 raids and Division 1 raids in 6 years. That's what I want.
Saying that is absolutely perfect because it should take everything. It should learn everything from other games and how other games do it and make it its own. So it's literally it's the same, but it's its own thing.
Yeah. It could,
there's nothing
never be the
wrong
same because it's in third person.
Shut up! I can zoom in on my screen, right?
Yeah, my field of view.
Yeah, just go.
They've got a slider now.
I'll join the raid. I'll go into photo mode, and we're good. And you guys will give me shit for it and be like, "Why are you in photo mode again?"
Should we talk about matchmaking?
Should we actually talk about matchmaking? Because Jesus Christ, we've waffled on a little bit today. Okay, so we're gonna call this. We got a new segment today. Robert, what is the title of today's segment?
Salt of the game.
Salt of the game.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Not to be confused by chat of the game of Bombshell Jackets.
Yeah, no, this is
infamous Rempissy run. Thank you, Rem, by the way. I miss it. And I know you can't do it anymore, man. I know it's impossible. That chat is just...
Dude, fuck the Division game chat. I was watching that thing today. There's so much toxicity in that thing. Everyone's like, dead game, I'm done.
It distracted me. And I had to turn it off.
Really?
I had to like press the arrow on the thing to turn it off because it was distracting me.
What?
Basically, from the moment almost Division 2 was announced, I haven't watched the chat of any state of the game because if it isn't one subject, it's another and it's repeated and it's salt or it's toxicity. And it's just like, this is not... And I kind of would watch it to kind of catch when Rem would do the chat of the game on Bombshell, right? Because he would say some of the things, and I'm like, how the hell did I miss that?
I can imagine after a while, it's just not funny.
You can't filter it fast enough. You can't pause it fast enough. And then it's just so much trash, and you try to have to dig out the golden comedic gems. From Rem's point of view, I would have stopped a long time ago, even before he stopped.
I don't.
But now I don't watch it. Even live, I just write arrow, unless I'm chatting with people that I know. Like Magoo's been in there the last month, basically. Cat, Felis, sometimes 3Z's cat, Tinks has been modded in there. Foxy's modded in, and from time to time, I can Cheshire Cat as well. Cheshire. All the cats, basically all the cats tally. So when we're in there and it isn't overwhelmingly full of toxicity, I'll stay and chat. But the moment I can't even read a command that, that's been prompt because it flies so quickly because of all the other trash, then I'm just like, all right. I try to say, hey guys, I'll catch you later. And then I just
it's gone.
Stay in the live feed, but I just remove chat because it's just too much, man. It's really frustrating too, and I know it's going to get even worse because someone's going to find something wrong with the raid, or there's going to be something that somebody needs to run and do a soapbox with, and they're going to do it on a stream, and they're going to do it on the Division game. Not necessarily tomorrow, because obviously nobody's seen the raid yet, but it's just not getting any better, and it's... I don't know. You can't put the blame on anybody. I understand they're just speaking their mind, but at the same time, you got to respect like who you're speaking to.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're people, and
Yeah, I mean, you can't fix everyone or everything. So you just and you know, everyone's gonna be like, just remove the chat, which is what I do. I just don't watch it anymore.
They'll stop listening to people if people carry on like that. But obviously, chat was basically going absolutely fucking nuts over the
matchmaking raid.
Yeah, how many matchmaking raid comments did you see pop up? I think it was quite a few. So basically, obviously the fact that we had 2 days notice that the raid was dropping, plus the fact that there is no raid matchmaking at all included with the raid, which kind of stems from the fact that they said matchmaking would be available for all content across the entire game.
When did they say that?
But technically it was game activities, if I remember right.
There's a photo of theirs, an official one, that has it in the bottom right hand corner. It's like the 4th Reddit post on Reddit right now, because it's circled in big ass red like teacher marker edited in a photo editing app, and it specifically says all activities for matchmaking. So it also says difficulties. So in that person's post defense, yes, that's what they said before the game came out. I get it. But at the same time, I think the way the game has progressed, 2 months in, you're not going to want to match it. You're not going to want to have pugs in a raid. You just don't.
Like, we're here saying this, and to be honest, I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks, and Luke didn't agree with us. He's been saying it for like the last month. He did put it in chat. I'm not calling him out or anything like that. It's just like, I know Luke's not here today, and obviously I just want to get his thoughts on it. And he said, what was it? Yeah, I've been saying this it has to have matchmaking for over a month now. It's probably one of the worst decisions they've ever made, and I
disagree.
The whole community is kind of stating that as well. But I think you have this idea from people like that everyone's kind of like, we know the raid's hard, and but still give us the option. Is there anything stopping them? Is there any reason why they should have put matchmaking in the game? Like, if it's that hard and it doesn't matter to the people that are going to LFG it or group up it through clans and all the rest of it, is there any reason why they shouldn't have just added it anyway? Can you guys think
we
of
don't
anything?
know. We don't know how hard the raid's going to be. We don't know how important the com's going to be. If you matchmake a raid and communication is the most important thing in that raid, there's no point matchmaking a raid.
Yeah, I'm getting
because
stemming from that,
the majority of the people aren't going to be talking to you.
No, but stemming from that, like, Luke's not here, but we met Luke through matchmaking.
Yeah, because he didn't talk to us.
No, it was how many months after Dragon's Nest came out? It was quite a while, wasn't it?
It was when we were farming them,
the Four Horsemen, weren't we? And
that happened months after.
Yeah, so
out.
He already knew what to do in that situation. He was just farming it with us. But the amount of people we went through at that point to get a good enough team to run just Dragon's Nest, like farming the Four Horsemen, was ridiculous. I remember running Falcon Lost, and I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, but then we weren't actually finishing.
No, we weren't. That was
no,
different.
But you got to remember, at the stage of Dragon's Nest at that point in time,
who was playing at that point? It was the dedicated player base that was. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It was hard as fuck to do it, dude. I remember it became so. It was so hard that you guys remember Breezy Peasy?
Yes.
He would load up that parking lot for the Four Horsemen to try to get like the highest headshot damage from a sniper using like every imaginable proc, and he was that was his, like, he enjoyed it. He would love it because it was so stupidly hard that the bosses took that much damage. Like, that's how hard it was. So to farm the first 4 bosses effectively and efficiently, you had to have you had to have tactician. I think 2 of them. You had to have a reclaimer when it was broken. And you had to have, what was the other one? Sentry? No. What's the 4th one or the 3rd one? Tactician?
I know you already said that. I don't
Reclaimer?
remember, dude. I don't really care, to be honest.
Well, you were DPS. You didn't give a
I
shit.
bet you I wasn't.
No, he wasn't. It was probably Reclaimer.
Yeah.
I think it was me that was
that's a
DPS.
lie.
I can't remember
That's
what
a lie.
was right.
Nope, that's a lie. I know Rob wasn't a reclaimer. So that's fine. Now explain.
But
Fuck you,
But anyway,
boss.
my point is, like, you know, at the time it was hard as piss, and if you weren't beating it to do the rewards, you were just farming the bosses because it was, you know, 15 minutes you could farm them over and over and over again.
What were we talking about?
Matchmaking.
Dragon's
No,
Nest.
Dragon's Nest.
matchmaking.
And now I'm referring to matchmaking. Like, I'll kind of sort of play devil's advocate and say, okay, to answer Mike's question, why should they have had it instead of not having it? So I would say that maybe the one reason to have it is just for them to have
That's
it.
it. But
That's it. There's no, because if you think about it, anyone who does pug, I guarantee you they're probably not going to complete
then I can imagine the situation, right? If I could be completely wrong on this, and maybe it's just the way I'm thinking right now, but if you have matchmaking in the game, right, you allow anyone to jump into it, I think straight off, you're ruining everyone's experience of the raid to some degree. Maybe I'm wrong on that because we literally just discussed about a Destiny raid. I'm not saying the division is going to take this long, but imagine if it does take 18 hours for the first raid team to actually pass and complete the whole thing. That would be fucking awesome.
It takes longer than that.
You have to have dedicated players who are going to stick with you throughout the whole thing.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
You have, so I'm going to now refer back to where I stand on the point of matchmaking. I had people drop out in a pug, in a stronghold, because we wiped in the middle of it. One person left, mind you, this was in World Tier, this was part of the invaded section, right? So I just wanted to do it because it was part of a project. You needed to do something in a group. I was like, I got to do the invaded stronghold anyways. I'm just going to do it. So we died in the middle. We all wiped. Somebody quit. This is on like hard or challenging at most. And it was not Capitol Hill. So it wasn't the hardest one up until Tidal Basin. And they quit. Like, that's a stronghold that can be soloed. And people were quitting. And these were randoms. So imagine that times 8. And in the first section, you're going to have a bunch of people just dropping. And now you're stuck with 6 people. And you're scaled to 8. And it's a raid. And it's still the first section. You're not going to have fun. And then now it's going to go to 4. And then people are just going to drop over and over again. And then you're going to get and now you're back to square one. You got to try to pug it.
Yeah, you're going to end up matchmaking again to get 2 additional people in that for a section of the raid that maybe they've not even done yet. They haven't done the previous bits at all.
Mm-hmm. It's covering. It's trying to prevent and save people from a bad experience.
It's not to stop people from playing the content. That's the thing. It's just stop them from having a bad experience.
Right. And for their first time.
Yeah.
For their first time. Now, once it's been completed and or they watch other people complete it and they finally can get with a group, now they can go and do it and possibly get the understanding of why they made that decision. Like, let's say it's a week later. So now it's reset to next Thursday. The people that didn't get a chance to do it this week, they get their 7, they get their 8, and then they jump in, whether they know what goes on or not. Maybe they kept away from streams or any YouTube content, and now they go in blind, and they're with people with communications, and it takes them like 6 hours, and they're like, oh my God, that was incredible. I want to do it again right now. Hopefully in their head is like, oh, this makes perfect sense why they removed matchmaking, because you're not going to be able to do this with pugs and the removal of communication. It's just not going to happen. So I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that the group that aren't just, complete ignorant idiots in chat, the ones that have sort of a brain and be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to give it a week. Maybe I can get a group by next Wednesday and we'll give it a go. And then they do it. They're like, oh, fuck yeah. There was no way I could have done with those pugs. There's no way. You have to have not a dedicate. You have to have a set group of people, of 7, of 8.
Have you ever done a raid in any game?
No.
Right.
In any game?
I
No.
would say,
I would say the majority of the Division community has never done a raid.
Right.
Which
Especially for Division 2.
Which is
Especially for
why-
Division 2. Because you got to remember, we got so many new players in a
the
Division 2.
majority of the community are like, matchmaking. They don't understand. The raid,
No, right.
raid is a commitment. Like, sometimes it can take hours. Like,
you could be stuck on one bit for literally like 3 hours.
you don't want to be doing that with people you don't know or like.
Wait, we're raiding together.
I don't
Yeah,
like
I was
any
gonna
of you
say.
motherfuckers, but I'm still doing it.
Unless there's
Yeah,
alcohol involved. But then, but
By the way, you're preaching to the choir. I'm on the side of
Yeah,
no
this is
matchmaking.
the difficult thing. Like, there's three of us
No.
on this podcast right now that are like, we all agree matchmaking
no, I
shouldn't
think
be in the game.
matchmaking
Right.
would be a good thing in about 6 months.
Yeah,
When everyone knows
can
how to
see
do the
them
raid.
adding it. I mean, do you think they'll add matchmaking? I think the response from the community is
Yes.
enough today to be
I
like,
think they will because they're idiots.
Yes, they will.
But hopefully they wait their wait
until heroics
for
drops.
like 2 months. So everyone knows the mechanics. And even in a pub group, you're like, oh, okay, well, he's going over there. So we need to be over here. You kind of know it, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the mechanics, like, we don't know how hard it's going to be. We don't know how, like, puzzly it's going to be, whether it's going to be. Yeah, like, we don't know. It's really hard to discuss, but
you think we
matchmaking
have to actually
definitely. They've made a very good decision. Matchmaking shouldn't be available from the
at
word
the
go.
start?
You do not want to matchmake on the first week of this raid with random people
That don't
that
know
don't know what
they're
they're doing. You're not talking to each other. You're just gonna go in, die, get frustrated, leave, and then repeat, rinse, repeat.
And then everyone's gonna be like, the raid's too
and then
hard. I
people
can't complete it.
You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna go on Reddit. You're gonna go, I don't fucking like this raid. It's fucking shit because you've got anonymity. No one knows who you are because you're like Dark Horse 56 on Reddit, and no one gives a shit who
Did you
that
just
is.
give out your Reddit name?
I'm sorry, Dark Horse, if you're a listener.
Like, and you're just gonna go, oh, it's fucking shit. Whoa, fucking shit game. Blah, 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 blah. And then people will be like, and a lot of other people will do the same thing, and then that'll be consensus, and then everyone will just stop playing the game, and yeah. So they made a good decision.
Well, what about the people that are saying, well, like, I'm a casual player, I haven't got much time to play it and all the rest of it, and let alone find 7 other people to play with?
Okay, well then, welcome to the Destiny community.
Yeah, then the raid isn't
No,
for you.
no,
The raid
no,
isn't.
no,
It's not going to
no,
be for you right
That's
away.
not true, right? That is completely untrue.
No, right away. I'm referring
No.
to you right away.
No, that's completely untrue as well. There are third-party apps that will help you find groups that will want to raid, right? Destiny has been struggling with this for years, and I assure you that every app that has Destiny 2 raids will adopt Destiny Division. Like, so the 100.io is a good website.
The Division
For-
Tracker,
The Division Tracker, basically
Reddit,
any
LFG,
LFG,
and all the rest
like
of it. Yeah.
Reddit, Discord. They even said on the State of the Game, the Division State. Our Discord has an LFG. If you're part of a Discord for this game, then they should already have LFGs. If they don't, it's a bad Discord.
But are you pinning it on Discord and those apps?
No,
to
but
get-
like, this gives you a way of sourcing 8 people that kind of know what they're doing and want to
And
do the
also,
same thing.
yeah, I was going
And
to say,
you can
really want to
communicate
do the raid.
beforehand. Like, have you got a
Yeah.
microphone? Are you going to be able to talk? Do you speak English? All that shit. Because if
Because
you go to a matchmaking, you could end up with like 3 Egyptian people
I mean, there's nothing
who
wrong
don't
with
speak
that.
English. No, but like You're trying to communicate with them.
Hey Hank, where is it? He's just talking in Egyptian.
It's just like, hey, like, you know what I mean?
But we've
not being-
had that with stuff though. We've had crazy shit happen in the division. Like we've teamed up with German people and all the rest of it. I'm like, no English.
Yeah,
it's
precisely.
like,
If matchmaking was a thing, then they would have to like somehow, like they had that struggle with the Australian servers. They tried to match it into Japanese servers, didn't they? And they couldn't do that because of the language barrier. That's exactly why they haven't done it this way.
and that's just matchmaking for general content.
Yeah, imagine doing that for a raid in Australia. Sorry, Australia, I'm picking on you again.
No, we got call out for that because we found it funny that something with their service last week. I can't remember. We didn't find it funny. We just think it's funny winding you guys up.
No, it was my idea of making the Australian servers a PvEDC.
The PvEDC.
Oh, right. That's why it says stuff.
Which is a brilliant idea.
Oh, God. That was my dad was like, wow, guys.
No, we love you guys. We're only winding you up. It is difficult because we see like people crying out, not crying out, but like crying out like that they want to do the raid, and matchmaking should be a thing. And I think if you're that determined to do the raid, you want to do it. It sounds harsh. Get off your ass. Go find people to play with.
There are literally thousands of third-party apps.
There's PS4
gaming.
communities. There's Xbox communities. You can go look for people. These things exist to help you find other people to do shit with.
No, it's not as accessible.
We've had to do it as well. It's not just on PC because we have, Discord or all the rest of it. It's not that. It's across all platforms. This is an issue. We had problems finding what was it, 2 or 3 raid members?
2 or 3.
We
two
do
or
a
three more.
podcast on a weekly basis, and we were like,
we have no
who
friends.
the fuck's raiding with us? And that was like a month ago. I think I put that chat together.
But then
when we
it is going to be
thought
a
the
little
raid
bit
was
of an
coming
issue
sooner.
because
I haven't got more than 4, maybe 5 friends.
Because the division is max 4-player game, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need more than 3 friends.
No.
Or 5 if one's
They
like,
don't even need to be your
doesn't play at the
friends.
weekend,
You just have to shoot stuff with them.
Yeah,
and
but
talk.
you know what I mean? Like, you either need 4 or 5 friends because some of them don't play the weekend, some don't play during the week, some have weird hours.
All right, mate. Someone's got to look after your kids.
So you only need and with and then that kind of that's why the Destiny raids are always 6 players, because you kind of always had about 3 or 5, 4 to 5, 3 to 5 players available.
The worst bit is going to be like months from now, trying to get people back to play the raid, not on first release. They'd be like, no, I don't want to do that.
By then they'll make it matchmaking, guaranteed. I reckon that's the plan.
Yeah. I just hope there's a heroic version and it's not match made.
Depending on the raid. It depends. It is depending on how difficult it is and how communicative, dependent it is. Because you
could
can't,
just go in
you can't matchmake with people that don't know what... Like, if you're saying you need to go over there and kill that thing and they don't understand what you're saying...
I don't think it's just a communication issue. It's everything, isn't it? It comes down to everything. It's not just communication.
But then also Yannick said it on the State of the Games today. They want the raid environment to be a place to meet new people, a Sherpa environment.
I can testify I did that. I got 5 other people from a Facebook group when I was part of a Destiny clan. I got 5 people together and we went and we did the Taken King raid. I can't remember what it was. And it was a lot of fun. I went and rocked out with 5 other people that I never knew before that. And we had a good time and we completed every single raid up to the first one in the Division 2. Division 2. I haven't played that one yet. Destiny 2. So it is a social experience as well. I've now got 5 friends for life because of that I still go back and talk to constantly, even now. I don't even none of us play Destiny anymore. That's a weird thing. Dead game. I'm joking.
Let's move on from matchmaking. I think we've discussed it enough.
Yeah,
I feel like we could do another hour.
No, I know we can. I just want to cover a few people's opinions before we do move on. Okay, so BD Scrumman replied on Twitter. He said raids require too much coordination and communication to complete. Having no matchmaking is good in my opinion. Hopefully LFG groups will help people find other players. I play a lot of Destiny and even when I didn't have a set group, I was always able to find people on LFG sites. I think that's the other thing as well. Yeah, it's not great that people are having to go to this media, like other sites, other mediums to do that, but it's good that the player base does that. I don't know. Should there be something better in the game instead of matchmaking? Should there be an in-game LFG finder? Possibly an app would be pretty handy.
I mean, Destiny did try the guided games. Didn't work.
Yeah, but I feel like they're pushing for clans. Are you not making clans redundant if you add matchmaking for this sort of thing?
I can see your point. Because then you can just matchmake with any 7. Why do you need a clan? You know what I mean? Why even have clans?
It's meant to be a social experience.
than...
You're playing with other people in your clan and working together to complete stuff and working together as a team towards a common goal. And if you're just teaming up with random people, I don't know. I think they just want the same experience that you get from other games. Weezer says, just my opinion, but the raid at release should not have matchmaking. I have never done a raid and don't actually have a team to complete it on PC, but I do understand it needs to be our most difficult content. It can't possibly be difficult if you can complete it with a team thrown together of 8 people. I think that's a very good feedback. Okay, so Not Me Mister says ideally there should be an in-game LFG functionality, as there isn't any. If there isn't, then matchmaking should be an option. Plus, as stated elsewhere, Massive said in their promo material, all activities would have matchmaking. Whether matchmaking is good or bad for a raid, let's be honest, I'm not sure, but the option should be there, in my opinion. It is fair enough. If you think matchmaking should be there, that you guys are obviously entitled to your opinion. We have different experiences from you. We're not trying to single people out or stop people from playing content at all. We just, it's different viewpoints. But I mean, hopefully everyone teams up, finds other people, and can get on and do the raid. Reaper says, I think the raid should be the hardest content, but players should have the option, even if it's so you can find 1 or 2 people to complete a team. Otherwise, what was the reason for not including it? It's fair enough.
Yeah, I was actually I rewound State of the Game and I hit the official post and stuff. I was trying to see if they mentioned anything of, if you have 6, can you matchmake the 2? If you have 4, can you matchmake the other 4? But it sounds like you can't do nothing for matchmaking whatsoever. So that, since I couldn't find any real literature on it, so I was like, yeah. So I didn't even bother asking you guys, because
honestly, yeah,
if I can't find it, then it's you guys didn't see it either.
They're taking their cue from other games, and the thing is, like, other games have, like, is it Guild Finder, or they have LFG in the game. You've got chat in the game. Maybe you can find people there.
Xbox, when they came out with their communities feature about, I want to say 3 months later, in their semi-annual updates that they do, they introduced an LFG portion of communities, I guess. You don't need to be in a community. You can actually LFG with 100% random Xbox Live people, which is a scary thought. And you go in there, but you have parameters, you have filters to set. So you select everything you want, and then you hit boom, LFG, and it literally pings everyone that's online playing the game you're looking for a group. It could be people you don't even know, but it pings them in a way like if you're searching for LFG, right? If you're one that's seeing if somebody needs a 4th or a 6th or an 8th, you can sort through it and be like, oh, this guy
Just
needs
one more.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, they need an 8th. They need an 8th. Boom.
Yeah.
And you join in. Obviously, Xbox Live supports up to 8 already in chat. So the communication side of it's already taken care of. And then you just press on with it, regardless of the region, because you can set your language. You can tell it to be whatever language you want it to be.
I can
so
see the community adapting and finding their own ways to do this. If people really want to do it, you can spend enough time complaining about it. You can spend enough time trying to find another way yourself to do it.
You can use Discord with your phones.
You don't
too,
even
if
need
you're
to
a
use
console
Discord.
player.
There's
And
plenty of app sites.
No, I'm just
like you said.
yeah.
You've got communities on PlayStation, Xbox. It's not just. I feel like Discord is being like represented in this way that I don't know. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it, like through Discord communities on Twitter and Facebook and all the rest of it. But
oh right, no, yeah. I mean, actually, you don't even need that. You can just use your Discord tag and use a friends chat as your form of communications. You don't need to be in any server. You see what I mean? Like your Discord could be completely empty as long as you add a friend. You can talk to that friend, and you just add the other.
What I mean
7.
is, like, Discord is not the only means of LFG. There's plenty of
right,
other ways out there. Okay, so Splattergut says they got to go all in or nothing. I'm sure there's going to be backlash, but Reddit should be an amusing post-raid release. God, that's a mouthful. Yes, I'm sure it's going to be. Good luck to Joker Unique over the next few days. Splattergut also says, bit of a left field theory. Maybe the raid is going to involve aspects where diverse types of builds and skills are needed, and maybe matchmaking isn't going to help that. Like maybe the only way to get is like, my God, I can't talk today. Like maybe the only way is to get involved, make friends, and party up. Yeah, that's what they're pushing for. By the sounds of it, I agree that is going to be the case. It's just one reason to think why they wouldn't include it. Locked on Wilco says, I trust in the developers to do what they think is right. I'm happy with the decision because they would not have made it if they did not think it was the right choice. Would you guys agree with that?
No, he's Australian.
Good luck to the Locked On boys on Friday night.
Yeah, good luck.
They'll be raiding World's First.
World's First, right?
I'll read what I'll read what Tookie's feedback was on your question, Mike. LOL. Thanks for your feedback, Tookie.
Quint says, I can see the reasons why not. People already complained that the missions were too hard due to using pickup groups. Now they've made some content easier because of this. Raids are meant to be the pinnacle of PvE in the game. Yeah, it was I'm pretty sure it was stated by Julian Garrity at E3 last year. Like, it's the hardest content in the game. If you don't want to play it, there's other stuff to do. I'm pretty sure it was something like that he said.
I'm pretty sure he actually used the word pinnacle. I'm pretty sure he's being quoted.
They're likely way too hard for an average random pickup group. Do they open the floodgates to players moaning about difficulty levels, or nip that in the bud and just try and get players to get organized? Not like it's too hard to find a clan now. It depends. It depends if clans are active. It really does, because obviously people have left the game, people are coming back, and all the rest of it. So, find an active clan.
Can I just say a big shout out to the 100IO? If you are not a Destiny player and you've never heard of the website, the 100IO, they have an app as well. If you're struggling to find some people to raid with, check it out, because they have like Division 2 clan finder, and they also have on their website you put your details in, you log in, you say when you play, you say how casual you are, and they put you in like a group of the similar like-minded people, and then you can make your own events, and people will join those events, and then you just speak to them in the chat on the website, blah 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 blah, and then you make friends in chat. You join it. I've done it before. I used to use 100IO in Destiny 1. I used to raid every week from that website, because a lot of my raid friends wouldn't raid on a Friday night, so I would just raid every week, trying to get a certain weapon from a certain raid. I did it for about a year. Every week I did it from that website, and it's really good. Like, you just join something, check it out.
I'm just saying now,
put it in the show notes.
Very quickly, I've just gone on the Division 2 LFG website for the 100.io. Go check it out. There is a shit ton of people posting.
Yeah, already
they want to do the raid. There's like 4 pages of posts. So go check it out. One's already got 8 players. It's a decent website. I mean, what was it? That guy just said, fuck, where's it gone? Sorry about that.
You said, fuck, where's it gone? What was it about?
No, somebody just put, one of the comments on there was quite funny. Plug in this sucker. We've all played, so we should know that it will not be entirely easy. Not expecting a clear run, but wanting to accept the challenge with some other folk who want to as also. All I ask, listen to this, is to please have a headset.
Yep, that's it.
That's from Scribs37 over on Xbox. So go check out the 100.io. I might put that up on Twitter as well. Right, okay, that's everything with regards to obviously the matchmaking.
We're going to dodge questions this week because we've run quite long. Or do you want to do them? Smash
it's up to you. They'll literally take a couple of minutes if you want. The only thing I will say, obviously, this is all up for discussion. It's going to be an ongoing thing over the next couple of weeks, but let us know what you think. You know, if you're listening, you disagree with us, or even if you agree with us.
Yeah, next week's going to be exciting because Mike's not here. It's just me, Luke, and Boris. Heads up, by the way.
Spoilers.
Warning.
You can tell Luke what happens on Game.
It's going to be like there's going to be no like Hitler next week, so we're just going to go nuts. It's going to be a 3-hour podcast. No script.
Ouch.
Dude, someone is still calling for a 3-hour podcast. We're almost there at the minute.
No, we're not. We've got another hour. What are you talking about?
Let's keep going.
Okay, let's just talk about matchmaking again, shall we?
Okay, so we did have some questions or feedback. The first one comes from Agent Part. He says, I enjoyed this week's podcast, meaning last week's, but I do have a question for discussion. You've previously mentioned that we won't be able to craft generic blue gear mods, just skill mods, which is disappointing as you have to make a new character. Would you agree with that, Rob?
What? I don't understand.
Generic blue gear mods.
Oh, yeah, I have lots of them. They're great.
Yeah, but my God, wake up. You have to farm them. You can't craft them.
Yeah, we knew this wasn't going to be a thing. Did we not?
Yeah. I know. I'm just throwing it to you.
I think was it? I would imagine that the only way you would be able to is if when you did create a second character, you got lucky and the vendor was selling a blue mod blueprint. Just like we have the high-end one that has been upgraded with our bench. If you don't upgrade that character, you leave him somewhere between 18 and 23, and you have a blue and purple gear mod
you do realize
blueprint.
you're giving Rob ideas now.
No, he's not, because he's wrong.
Because
you can buy all the skill blueprints from the vendors. Well, you could.
You can buy this. I'm not referring to skill. I'm referring to the gear mods, which is what the question was.
You can't buy
the
them.
Generic gear mods. You can. I have 2 high-end ones that have been upgraded. Those were blues and purples when I first created my character. The issue is I didn't see them again on my alt character, so I didn't get a chance to buy them in a blue and a purple again.
In the game.
So either they've been removed or RNG hasn't put them out on the vendor for me to buy. Now, mind you, I stopped farming for blue mods. I just stopped doing it. So I haven't gone back to that character in like 3 weeks. So we've had 3 vendor resets, including yesterday's. So they very well might be sitting there. So.
Okay, just to finish off, we just say they're still good though, even if they were 3%, as they can go in any slot. I've got a couple very kind of like that. What would be the best way to deal with these mods, in your opinion, going forward?
Right. Leave them as is, because at the moment I've got loads of 5% damage mods for like every single
you're the
weapon.
Only one.
So yeah, because
you were quite happy because they didn't get nerfed either.
They did. They took 1% off everything apart from.
I thought yours didn't get touched.
No, they did 1%.
Oh, they did. You said to me they didn't.
They took 1% off.
Oh, right, okay.
which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot because most of the builds you can only run about 4 or 5 anyway, so it's like, what, 4%? 5% difference?
Okay, next bit of feedback comes from old Johnny P. At SITREP Radio. I almost laughed myself off the road when I think we were discussing something about Rob's mum coming to the dark zone, and he replied, we said something along the lines of, my mum is coming to the dark zone and her bag size is increasing. I love your mum's dark zones. Keep up the great work, boys.
I don't remember that.
Hopefully your dad's listening. Or not listening, maybe. I don't know.
I just like the picture that came with that tweet.
This is good. Spectrum74, long-time listener, says, question for 159 of the show. How likely do you think we will see gear pieces, attributes, or mods linked to specific factions, such as increased damage against hyenas as a percentage, or protection from black tusk like we have now with elites?
I think this might, I think this is a great idea that they might add to certain gear sets.
Or mods.
Maybe mods?
I'd like to see it
some
on
of the
mods.
gear sets have like real random attributes, like some of them have like grenade damage and stuff, don't they?
Ongoing directive backpacks have like bleed resistance and
some
percentages.
Of them have,
I
like,
have a
weird random ones.
Yeah. And that's a blue attribute, by the way, for anybody.
This could happen.
And I don't see why not.
But then it's very niche, like to have damage against hyenas. Like,
yeah, but I
I'm
mean, you've
put
got
my
a
hyena
raid
build on, and I'm going to destroy all these hyenas. It's very niche, but like, I mean, Black Tusk would be a good idea because of the invaded shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we could see it. We could get raids for hyenas or outcasts or tree sons. You could do with like some kind of damage.
Oh yeah, raid specific. I suppose that's how they could do it.
Yeah.
Because you think if they up the difficulty, I'm referring to another game, something also changes, doesn't it? If I remember right, Rob? If they up the difficulty in a Destiny raid,
the mechanics change.
Different. The mechanics change, but also the loot, the rewards are greater, aren't they? So that could be something obtained.
That could be. I could see that being a thing. Because right now, as you increase the difficulty, you just get more rewards.
Give us something, yeah.
That's it. You get one more between challenging and heroic. You get one more boss drop. That's it. That separates the two.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see it as mods, I think. Just random mod, like not even crafted.
No.
No?
No mods. We don't need any more variety in the mod system. Hell no.
Just gear set.
Yeah, I think, Raid
I think an attribute on a...
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, excuse me. That's it for this week's podcast. So, I mean, it's only 2 hours long. I apologize. It could have been longer. It's late now.
Big yawn.
Cool bastard. I think we've covered everything. I don't know. How do you guys feel? I mean, you feel like you tried to be honest about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm coming from the side that's never done a raid, and I agree that there shouldn't be matchmaking.
Yeah. And
all I did was just answer your questions just to have an answer there. That's not like the right answer at all. That shouldn't be a thing. Just to throw matchmaking in there just to have it. No, that's not for a raid.
It's very hard for us to discuss without knowing
what the raid
is, how it works. Like next week, this discussion can be very different.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, give it to them.
Yeah, like we don't know.
Christ. It
could even be a discussion that, fuck, dude, when are we going to beat this raid?
I would not be surprised if it is that next week.
Yeah, it won't be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's not going to be here. Anyway, let's end the podcast. Robert, where can the listeners find us?
You can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitradiopod@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Discord. The link will be in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover, so be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion in those places. Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We generally enjoy all the feedback. It's excellent most of the time. And at the end of the day,
Is that your Luke impression?
it does actually help other people to find our show. Mike?
We do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play the Division 2 and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. And I guess the final thing before we leave is we will be streaming the raid tomorrow night, Thursday night, if you're listening this, the 16th of May. 15th. No, 16th
So will Boris. Give us a shout.
Yeah,
Give us a shout out, dude.
Yeah, before we go, Boris, do you want to tell the
May.
listeners who you are? Because I kind of felt like we skipped over that and where they can find you.
You can find me at Bordy the Blade in all the places. I am officially Bordy the Blade on the PlayStation Network as well. Thanks to the update. What about what? On the moon, yeah. We got 5G now. We have 5G in the world. You can get 5G on the moon.
Fuck.
I'm taking that, by the way. I'm gonna create.
I think you need to go back to
Twitter
Bordy
and
the Tweaker or Tinkerbell.
So yeah, feel free to add me. Literally, it's Bordy the Blade in all the places now.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on today's show, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a lot of fun. Accommodations. Yes.
Anyway, we have been SITREP Radio. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sequence complete. Security protocols deactivated. Server data replaced and CPU destroyed. Terminating connection in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction